Welcome to today's video. Today I will be explaining about C++ programming. So these are the topics which we are going to study in this lecture. First is the structure of C++ program. We are going to discuss the structure of a C++ program. Then we would see example program and explain the structure of the program. Then we will learn what are comments in C++ and how to write some comments in C++ and what are comments. Then we would see the compilation, and the execution process. Then we would also study the input and output in C++. Then also we would learn about compilers and interpreters and why C++ uses a compiler and difference between compilers and interpreters. Let's start. So first, let's learn about what is the structure of a C++ program. So a basic C++ program typically has a preprocessor directive, a namespace declaration, and a main function. So in preprocessor directive we include some predefined header files such as include IOStream. So IOStream is a header file which contains all the features for input and output. And then is namespace declaration. We write the using namespace std, which means we are using standard names such as cin for input and cout for output. These are the specific namespace which are built only for C++ program. Now main function. Some main functions all the statement expressions execute. So all the statement expressions which are in a C++ program are written inside the main function. It contains a return statement which is return 0. We have to return 0 because main function always returns something. So it is int main. So integer we have to return the integer value, so we return 0. We can also return 1, but if we return 1, then the program will think that we have made any error. So we have to always return 0. And each line in a C++ program ends with a semicolon. Not only with C++, it is with any programming language. In any programming language, we will have to end a statement using semicolon. It is also called as statement terminator. Here is a detailed breakdown of a C program structure. We have already learned what is a preprocessor directive, what the namespace declaration, and what are functions and blocks. So a preprocessor directive always starts with a hash symbol. It includes header files, so the IOStream stands for input and output functions. Then is namespace declaration. It allows access to standard functions without writing the prefix, which is st. Then is function and blocks. All execution starts from the main function, and additional functions which are defined by the user are always written below the main function, but it gets called only from the main function only. It does not get called by itself. It gets called by the main function only. So let's move to the next. Here's a simple C++ program. Here is a program. It is about adding two numbers. First, there is a comment. This is a sample C++ program. So comment is only for the user. It does not get executed by the machine. And also the explanation is there. First is hash include IOStream. It allows input output function. Hash include IOStream is a header file which is included. Then it is namespace std, which gives all the standard names to the C++ program. If we do not write, we have to write there std for every program element, which is the prefix. There is int name. You can see here inside the int name, all the program is written. First, using integer, we have declared two variables a and b, which contains the value 5 and 10. Then we have outputted the sum using the out function, and you can see that all the statements are ended with a semicolon, and in the last we have written 0. So it is the sample C++ program and also its explanation. A plus B stands for an arithmetic operation, which is addition. So this is a sample C++ program structure. So now let's learn what are the comments in C++. So a comment is only for the user. It's only for the user understanding. Suppose you write a program and you forget after some time, so what is the program for? So by using comments, we can declare at the top this program is addition, this program is about subtraction, or any program. It is only for the user's knowledge. Or if anyone sees your program, how they will get to understand. So by using comments, we will get to make them understand that what is the program is for. So comment is of two types. First is single line comment, which is written by double slashes. You can see here what is a single line comment and what is a multi-line comment. A multi-line comment is a multiple lines. A single line comment is a single line. So multi-line comment starts with slash and asterisk and ends with asterisk and slash. Then why do we use comments? It improves readability, it describes the purpose of code, and it helps with debugging and maintenance. Now is explanation and execution flow of a C++ program. So a C++ program consists of these steps. First is preprocessing, where directives which are included, which the hash include, are handled. The files which are present in the header files are included in the program. Then is compilation. Is a process that the code which is written by the user is converted into machine language, which is called object file. Compilation is a process where all the code is read all together, and then the problem which should be during the program are defined. Then is linking. In linking, all object files are converted into an executable file. So .exe for Windows, .obj for Windows. In linking, the object files are converted into an executable file, which is .exe for Windows and .out for Mac. Then is loading. The operating system loads the executable file into the main memory. Then is execution. The CPU runs the program. So now input and output in C++. So output is written like this, is out. Then after this statement we can write the output. Then we can use AND for changing the line of the output. We can also write here the output text inside the double inverted commas. Then is input in C++. We can take any user input using the cin statement. First using cout we will write enter a number, and then using cin we will input the number inside the variable. Here is int a. There we will enter any number. So we cin, we are entering any integer number inside this a variable. So by this we can write output and input in any C++ program. So now let's learn about compilers and interpreters. To convert a code into machine language, we use compiler and interpreter. Using compiler, we translate the entire code into a machine language before execution. The entire code is translated into machine language, and then all the problems which would be there in the program are shown to the user. It produces an executable file. So C++ uses compilers, and some language also use interpreter. So what is the interpreter? An interpreter translates and run code line by line. It translates the code into machine language line by line. If there is any bug in any line, then until the bug is corrected, the interpreter does not move to the next line. So the translator does not create the executable file. So interpreter translates the code line by line. So C++ uses only compilers. So now, why C++ uses compilers? So C++ is a compiled language. It does not translate code line by line. It translates code all at once, and then it creates the object file. Then the object file is linked into an executable file, and the executable file runs in the computer and gives us the output of our written program. So C++ is a compiled language. It requires a compiler to convert source code to machine code. The code which is written by the user is called a source code. It is converted into binary language, first into object file and then into an executable file. So here are the list of popular compilers which we would use for running our C++ program. First is GCC GNU compiler class, compiler collection. To run C++ on any computer, we will to run a C++ code, we would first have to install the GNU compiler collection. You can also use CLang or Microsoft Visual C++. You can also use Dev C++, which runs C++ as well as C language. So by compilation, we increase the performance and efficiency of our C++ program. Compilation is an important step. Until the program is all correct, you can't proceed to the next step. So compilation is very important. So here is the difference between compilers and interpreters. First, a compiler converts the entire program at once. An interpreter converts the program line by line. His output, a compiler produces executable file, but an interpreter gives immediate execution. In compiler, the speed is faster, but interpreter is slower. The debugging in compiler is harder because it keeps all program at once and we have to find where the errors have occurred. But interpreter is easy because it is line by line. If there is any problem in any line, until we correct the problem, it does not move to the next line. Then usage. Compiler is using C++, but interpreter is not using C++. It is used in some other languages. So now we have reached to the end of this session. So what we have learned, let's recall. First is C++ program, our structured format with clear syntax. The comments enhances understanding and maintainability of the code. The execution flow of this C++ program involves multiple steps. First is preprocess, then compile, then link, then execute. Then C++ relies on compiler for efficient transfer machine code. It does not use an interpreter, it only uses a compiler. So the understanding the difference between compiler and interpreter helps us clarify why C++ is designed the way it is. Why does it use a compiler? By reading the difference between compiler and interpreter, we can get clarification why C++ uses only compilers. Thank you. These all for our this session. We would cover other topics in our next session. So thank you. For more such videos, you can subscribe to my channel and like and share this video and comment down below what are your suggestions and what are topics you want to know about. Thank you.